So a 1-3. Yeah. But pretty much when we're trading, it's always a 1-3. Everything you trade is a 1-3. Because we get stuck in the previous range, then you take out both sides until you take out the mother bar. So like when XOM, this is all of yesterday's range. When this goes inside, you're going to start a try, and then it's going to get bigger. It's going to take out the one side of this previous range, right? So notice you form this 3 on the 15. They get outside of it, so where's it going? It's going up there. And then they do. So now you're no longer a mother bar. And every trade's going to be like that. The question is it a 3 that does that? Or is it a 2-2 reversal that turns into a compound 3 and then keeps going? Or is it a 2 up, 1, 2 up that just continues and creates a 3 of the 60 in the morning? We're always trading that same thing. It's just going to look different depending on the time frame you're looking at, which is why we draw the try out, because then that gives you the 3. You know where it is. Because like if we're looking at XOM here, and this is so important to know, when this week is 2 down in green, if this was a 2-week chart that started right here, these 2 weeks become a compound 3 of this, right? But it looks like a 2-2 reversal because we're looking at a weekly chart. That same thing happens on every time frame. So like let's say this is a 3-week chart and it starts here. It's like, well, it was 2 up at first, and then the 2-2 here negates that. So now it's a 2 going 3 on the 3-week chart. These 2 weeks and this week become an outside bar of all this. So if it reverses back through, we have another 3 weeks. Like, well, right here when that changes, where's the 3? It's this stuff. So we're always looking for exactly that. Give me the try, show me where it's going, and then if it's going up there, we can look for the longs back through this stuff. Once it takes that out, either it expands and gets bigger, which is what we're trying to do with this daily stuff from yesterday, or it goes back through. Simultaneous 3-2-5 are on the indexes. Yeah, so for example, notice 2, 1, 2 down, reverse. Notice this is a 3. So if we drew this out, this is your try. Do you see how this is stuck inside of this high and this low? So if it's going to expand and take the morning highs out, you'd take this out with no reversal against. So 505.52, stay above that with no 2-2 or 2-1-2 or 3 reversal against. You take that out for sure. Has to happen that way. Now, if it fails one side, it's going there. And then once it hits that, we don't know. But if it doesn't reverse, you'll take this stuff out. So we're always looking for broad information. Then can we stop out the guys who got short here? Or are we going to stop out the long guys that are long with stops here? Go to SMCI, you'll see this. 3, 1, 1. 2 up, stays up and out of that 1. So it's going to take the high here. If we went to like a 1-minute chart, there's probably a try up in here. So you can see that right here. So all of these bars, these 3 bars, went outside of the bars to the left. So we draw right to left. Here's your try. When that bar breaks, this is why we use tight stops. When that bar breaks on the oneer, we're going up there as long as it stays broken. So they do that. Now, top of the try, new highs, exhaustion risk. You can see 2-2 back in. Now we're stuck inside. So from this high to this low, now we're going to form a new try in here. Or it doesn't reverse and it takes this out. But more than likely, it's going to try in here. Said something similar on Twitter and it completely went over everyone's head. Yeah, and the thing is, it's so important for the strat. You have to know that, or else you have no idea what we're looking at. Like when we say wait for the triangle day out, that's what we're saying. It's like if we go to SMCI this morning, if you're trying to get long in this high to this low, notice this all becomes an inside bar of that, right? So they start forming the new trine here. It takes a while to get the lower low, but they eventually do that. It keeps going, so it expands and takes this out. So now, no longer an inside bar, or this that was inside, now you have a 2. You've taken this out. So if that reverses here, you're going back up to the high of this try, and if you're doing that, they'll probably take these guys out too. And then they do. Because it doesn't 2 down. It goes 2 up, 2 up, 2 up. And then, once the high gets hit, now you're at exhaustion risk. Buyers did not step up. They pull back in, then you get that triangle out again. And we're doing the same thing here. Notice the slightly higher high. Now we're going to go slightly lower low. And it happens to be a rev strat. So like this. And boom, slight lower low to that stuff. So now it's like these 2 bars are outside of that. If that doesn't reverse, yeah, you can get out and expand. But if it does reverse you're still chopping around in here. And that's why when we're saying like don't trade the inside bar, if you're trading like a 15-minute inside bar break during the inside 60, what are you actually trading? It's like, well, you're buying the top of the broadening formation forming during the inside 60, which is inside for a reason. It's nowhere near taking the new high or low, so it's stuck. So when you buy the top of that inside bar, it's got to go because it's the top of the try. And every entry you take, it's always going to be that smaller time frame broadening formation expanding because it happens at every time frame. So if you know that, you want your stop as tight as possible because they're either going to step up or they're not. Which is why, like, if we went to the 15er hammer here, this is a smaller try. You can see they poke up first, then they poke down. That's your triangle layout. The 2-2 right there, now it's back to the previous range, expanding this right here. So if you went to like a minute chart, you can see, I don't know when the 15 started, it was right here. So the 15 starts here, they go into new lows, and the 15 ends here. So if we're drawing this out, we'd say you have the slight higher highs and slight lower lows, and we draw it something like this. So when we're taking that 15er break, you got to stay up and out of this, which is like the 3 right here. It might even be easier to see that. So they form that 3. It's like, well, if we buy here and we put our stop further to the downside, it's like, well, anytime we're back below this, which would be our tighter stop, we know it's trying to take this out. So there's no reason to just widen it up because it's either going to stay up above that or it's not. Which you might have to enter like once or twice, maybe 3 times, but it just makes more sense. If you're doing one contract, it's like, all right, buy, lost $3, buy, lost $3, buy, boom, just made 40. It's like, all right, I'll do that. Which is also why it's important not to get stuck trading stuff that's not moving. Like when you guys are mentioning, you're like, hey, Alex, let's go watch. Like, what is this doing? It's like completely inside on the day. It's like, dude, you're going to enter 17 times on the singular break and you're going to get really mad by the time you get to the 5th one.